Alright. Select the game window. Good! Kicks a mess. I know. It's like, it'd be like trying to negotiate with like a Hutt in Star Wars. You don't negotiate with Hutts. Where am I going? Management files. I'm sure those are somewhere on this field. This is only a moderate Matrix run, so theoretically this Where am I? Am I in City Hall again? I'm in City Hall again. Okay, I think this is the Project Files data store. Management might be behind this. Well, Grimith fought City Hall. Now this is management. Grimith wins. But while we're in the neighborhood, you know, heaven forbid we just leave this system alone to its own devices. Perish the thought. Yes. Yes. Hello! Welcome to Deckard Cain! The playthrough. The book, the screenplay, the movie. Coming for you, Black Ice! Slow Black Ice. Didn't even break that thing immediately, Black Ice. Get wrecked, Black Ice. Give me your loot! Give it to me! I want your prizes! Rebound is awesome, you just gotta have the 30,000 required to buy it. Which, you know, for some, quite a challenge. I don't remember exactly how much New Yen I spent in the... Oh no, I know. I know I didn't earn 30,000 fucking New Yen in the No Matrix playthrough before I went to the crime mall and did my crazy cheese. I'm 99% sure. This is only a modern one. You realize how many tar pits are protecting that fucking thing? No, you don't. Modern job my ass. Whatevs. Going back to the City Hall. Hello. So you chose to serve the Yakuza? Then you deserve to die like the other enemies of the Mafia. Oh yeah, and if you, buy Mr. Faraducci's number and try to talk to him, you obviously can't join the Mafia. They're a little upset about the fact you joined the Yakuza. The same is true if you've already joined the Mafia and try to contact the Yakuza. They don't handle it too well. And of course, any long-term role-playing implications are outside the scope of this game. You don't have to worry about it. It's 9,500, 11,500. Well, that'll be fine. Made some bread. Back to hell we go. Confidential files. And Rihanna's not even at full health. Oops. I probably don't have to even switch. I could easily plow through these, but whatever. Saves us a little bit of time, probably. We're gonna have to replace 2 of those 3 programs, I'm thinking. Because they're gonna be devoured by tar pits, because I will sacrifice them to tar pits instead of risking losing my attack program. Because I am a practical man who only engages in practical practices. Yes, that's exactly what transpires. Go ahead and switch out the deception now. Back to this. And shoots awful hacks. Mein Leben! That save state's there in case the game crash. I'm not gonna load from it, otherwise. You know, I could have always gone for playing and not attempting to trigger that tar pit. It's one possible strategy, attempting to use programs that won't fail. Since it was only tar paper, I could have done that reasonably. Oh well. Okay. Let's go ahead and get the sleaze eaten. Of course, a bug exists in this game where you can have multiple programs eaten by a tar pit. The best way for you to do that is to press the fucking start button while the tar pit's in the process of devouring a thing. I also should not have put the analyze in the bar. I also should have probably healed up Rihanna before I tried this. Well, we succeeded. And we didn't immediately lose everything forever. I like it. Tell me more. Ah, this one was only a tar paper too. Oh, hey! Hurt! Yeah! Download that in case Rihanna fails to shut off the alarm, so I don't have to come back here. Unless I get another Shadowrun. Keep in mind, this is a moderate flagged matrix run, and yet the node we're facing here in the CPU is a red 7. Which Rihanna just failed to operate twice. Hint, red 7's a big fucking deal. But yet, it only pays out as a moderate run. Deceptive. Oh yeah, just go to the Seattle City Hall confidential files. Yeah, that'll totally be cool, yeah. Not fucking... Not deceptive. Then you go there thinking, oh yeah, it'll be fine. There's some red flagged ones that are easier than this. Like, it's not even a... No question. Like, there is 0 doubt. It's not arguable. That Mitsuhama one, where you just need to go in like 3 nodes and grab something from an orange data store, is far less difficult than this. Alright. Anyway. 13,500, 15 grand, 21 grand. Ah. Of course, the payoff isn't so much the nougat that you get for completing the run, these matrix runs, it's the data stores. The downside is that you don't get as much karma. It's not like you get karma for the amount of money you earn. The karma comes primarily from the Shadowrun you complete. And different Shadowruns give different amounts of new yen karma. Okay. Sure. And also, like, killing a certain amount of things or defeating a certain amount of programs in the Matrix, it's kind of like randomly dependent on how strong it is, will also pay off for you. Gates Undersound, that's one of the hotels within the Seattle area. Anyway, the reason why I popped over here to Ribbon Barons, in part because I have some money. burn a hole in my pocket, and also to patch up my characters. Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff. So, I wanted to buy spurs for you because you already have hand razors. But you already have a hit of wired reflexes, so it's a fucking waste anyway. Because we've already proven that bug in action. At the same time, there isn't anything else in the field that costs specifically 0.1. Oh, well, damn. Go ahead and buy you those wired reflexes. Gonna buy you a hit of muscle replacement. And then 2 hits of dermal plating. And you gotta get Cyber Eyes, muscle replacement, and then 2 hits of dermal plating. And because I want your numbers to be in line with everyone else's, I'll go ahead and buy you those spurs. Everyone has 0.1 essence. Everyone's fully loaded to the teeth on cyberware. Now you can see the adjusted values over here. The C and then 7 or whatever the case may be. Dermal plating adds to the body score. Muscle replacement adds to quickness and strength. I like adding to the body score because, you know, gives your characters more durability. Strength is not something that I really use for anyone, so muscle replacement has less of an impact for me. But the quickness isn't bad. Alright. You still got 17,000 to spare. Fuck, I could just get a little bit of money, buy that light combat armor, and pretty sure I could win using that method. I'd save quite a bit of money through the little Chiba discount. Even though I spent 10 grand to get Agira Tetsumi, his number, I'm pretty sure I saved more money. Which, well, not bad. We also got some karma burning a hole in our pocket here. Might as well go ahead and expend that too. Spend my karma pocket hole thing. You drags are so fun. Scrubs. I could kill ghouls for sure. Not that I would, but I could. Give me that. Give me that. You are really going to be sticking purely to pistols. Not that there's a problem with that at all. And as for you, I need you to get better with gun shoot. So get better. Upgrading an individual category is cheaper, but I want to switch to using shotguns at the tail end of the game whenever I fight Thawne, because silencers don't really matter at Alicia's Tomb. So I'm upgrading firearms so that I can use both pistols and shotguns equally on Joshua and Rihanna. Phantom, since he started with some pistol skill, I just decided to keep him with it. That's the bottom line, because Grimith said so. And yeah, good. She's really gonna be resilient to black ice now. If it tries to hit her with the amount of body she has, her body is slamming. Anyway, let's go ahead and complete this run now. I won't forget the fact that I have it. Take a look at those attack scores. They are gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. We'll look into upgrading the armor for these characters. I suppose I also wanted to buy... Didn't I make mention of, like, buying a court badge and actually freeing Aragorn? What happened to that, Grimith? I just got so excited by making money. That's what happened. It got me all hot and bothered. Outdated files? I probably don't need sleeves for that. Yeah. It's nothing. Small time. Keep in mind this was a red flag run. Probably even remove you, put the deception back on, I forgot about that. There we go. I only have a level 4 deception, too. Awesome. I choose this way. I don't know whether this is the correct way. Well, that answers my question. Good talk, everyone. Glad we had that moment together. Alright. First try. 720 no scope. Uh-oh. Deception actually failed on that. On an orange 5. Well, I start poking my nose into these data stores looking for outdated files. Outdated files should be... Failure again! It's 2 in a row. Ooh! Look at how slow that packet's moving. Failed on attack, too. Ooh. Anyway, outdated files should not be one of the most well-defended data stores in the system. It'd be easier to find if I just assaulted the CPU. Well, let's go do that then. Hello, CPU. I'm ready to get fucked. Take me away. Okay. This is a very slow attacking black ice. Get out of my face. We're looking for outdated. Oh, the hell with it. That one's guarded by the tar pit and like, son of a bitch! I'm gonna go back out to the CPU now. I'm gonna target one of those data stores that are over there. Well, let's not be arrogant here. Oh, yes. For folks who are unfamiliar with the game, I'm sure that it does look like rubbish. Okay, so I'll give this explanation. Cyberspace, you have a virtual persona. Cyberspace has a lot of storyline implications connected to the actual Shadowrun universe, which is based off the cyberpunk genre, which is primarily fathered by the likes of William Gibson, Neuromancer, which features some heavy Matrix stuff on account of the fact of Case being a hacker. So we have a bevy of programs loaded into our cyber deck here. Hackers in this game are called Deckers because they use an actual deck which looks like a keyboard of sorts, and they connect through that deck into cyberspace through a port in their brains, sort of like the actual Matrix movie with Keanu Reeves. At any rate, you have a host of programs, each which does a different amount of things. For example, I have an attack program here. These programs range in level from 1 to 9. Program level combines with computer skill of the character, of the Decker, and some other stuff to determine effectiveness of these programs. And there's different qualities of ice. For example, this is an access program. this can actually be deceived. What this access ice does is send packets off to the edge of the screen, and if that packet reaches the edge of the screen without being interrupted by hitting the node, there's a chance that the system will be alerted. You start off without an alert, but there's a passive alert, in which case that will be yellow, like it is now, which means that all ice upgrades in difficulty by 1. There's different ice levels as well as different node levels. Active alert means that all of the ice upgrades by 2. And if you really piss off the system enough in active alert, it actually just kicks you straight out. I'm here in a data store, which is a node containing data, which is the target of most Matrix Shadowruns, almost all of them, except for the ones which have you target a computer. And it also contains a lot of extra data that you can find depending on your computer skill, and the node in question, which you can sell to an individual in this game, is Roscoe the Fixer. The moral of the story is that my character kicks a lot of ass when it comes to cyberspace right now. You start with the worst deck, it's absolutely rubbish, fairly rubbish levels of programs, and you just have to work your way up by buying a better deck. It's like a trading card game. It's a very expensive hobby that you don't have to engage in at all in this game, as my last playthrough proved, because that was a no Matrix run. But it can yield extra tips and clues. Through the data stores, you can find information that pertains to the main quest line, and yeah, it's not essential though. And yes, the run is called Deckard Cain because of the Deckers. I have 3 Deckers in the party. Deckers are the folks who hack into cyberspace using that keyboard-looking thing that Josh was currently holding there. You only need 1 Decker on the team. This is a bit superfluous. Instead, I have 3. Like, he looks like he's from the Typing of the Dead, right? Like, he has a Dreamcast backpack and he's gonna kill zombies by typing away on that. And there you go. That there, which looks like she's handcuffed to it. Looks a little silly. So yes, I have Deckard Cain here, Team Deckard Cain. Only one of them hacks into the Matrix at any given time. And I'm only taking Matrix Shadowruns, except in pertaining to the main quest line. Maybe so, Rilder, maybe so. Anyway, we have some data in our cyber deck. We can only hold up to 5 files in the cyber deck. That's just a limitation. I managed to download 4, one of which was what I needed to complete the Shadowrun, but I could possibly sell these other 3 for $1,000,000. Their value is dependent on luck, but it's also dependent on the data store you're in. Higher level data stores give better loot, I guess you could call it. For example, this client information thing here, Roscoe here says it's worth 1,800 $1,000,000. You can't sell this to anyone else. Roscoe's the only buyer. And you don't know what the values will be exactly until you come in here. Like, you could have completely useless information. So there's another 1,200, and that one was useless. So I earned 3,000 $1,000,000 on the side for completing that Shadowrun. Anyway, we have another run here, and we're going to do a run on security files. Here's my attack program, which is used to crash ice. Here's a slow program that's basically tar pit fodder. Tar pit is the most insidious ice. It permanently eats a program from your deck. And it's triggered if a program fails on the ice. So, when I say permanently eat, I mean you have to repurchase it. For these low-level programs, like I have low-level programs specifically designed to trigger tar pits, so I don't waste my high-level programs. If I lost my attack program, for example, I'd be paying like 20,000 $1,000,000 to replace it, instead of like 100. My rebound here is used to bounce attacks back at the attacker, and that has a 100% guaranteed success rate in hurting the ice. Shield is rubbish. I bought it for ice, tar pit fodder, and I forgot it can't even fail. Medic, you start with that. I don't much value that. Deception is one of the strongest programs in the entire game. It's what allows me to bypass ice without fighting them. And Analyze, I think is alright if you've never played this before, but it's just more fodder for me. And there's other programs I don't have, which I don't value. There's a Sleaze, which I made use of in the last playthrough I did of this game last month, which did pretty good. Which is pretty useful, but I don't have that right now. Anyway, this is a system access node. You always enter a system access node whenever you're entering into a system from the street. We use Deception. It succeeds on the first try. We suppress the ice without having to fight it. Not all ice can be deceived. Barriers in black ice cannot be fooled by Deception, so you have to fight them or use something else like Sleaze. We're heading for security files. We'll just go looking for the security files at Data Store. Okay. The node level ranges from blue to green to orange to red. So you can have some clue of, you know, how close you're getting to, like, the CPU based on, like, the color shifting of the nodes. And nodes also range in level, I think, up to 7. And ice can range in level up to 7 as well, but an alert will upgrade that to 8 or even 9. Okay, system files data store. That's a rubbish data store, so we're leaving that behind. The brain USB, yes. Okay, SPU here is just a filler node. I suppose I could explain the other ones too that we saw. That circle node there is a slave node, a slave module. If you're doing a run on a corporation while you're inside the corporation, those slave modules can control certain elements. Like, that could control all of the security locks on each door. So if I turn off all the security locks while I'm inside the corporation, that means that all of the locks are turned off, so long as I'm in the building. Once I leave the building, they turn the locks back on. These are, these IOPs, if you're jacking into a corporation system while you're inside that system, you'll enter in through one of these instead of the system access node. These are usually less well defended. That square there, that's the data store. That's got the good stuff. And that there, that's the CPU. There's one in every system. Taking out a CPU is a great asset, but it tends to be the most well-defended node in the entire system. That's not an absolute, it just tends to be the case. You can get an idea of how difficult a node is to defeat based on how fast that is. We're in the non-combat phase right now. I can use programs that can be utilized outside of combat, such as Deception. But I know that CPUs are usually protected by barriers of black ice, so Deception probably won't work here. I'm going to take this off my bar. I don't have enough space on my active utility bar to have everything I want loaded up. And load in my rebound as well. And now I'm going to sacrifice this Analyze program here on the off chance that this is protected by a tar pit. It isn't. This is a barrier. It can't be fooled by Deception, so I didn't lose anything for my trouble anyway. Now, barriers are like access ice in that they'll attempt to alert the system by sending those alert packets. It's not a guaranteed success, but your best way to shut them down is to hit the node, which alerts the packet. There, we escaped without sending out an alert, and we're actually inside the CPU itself. You can actually cancel the alert from the CPU, and you can crash the system. A few Shadowruns actually request that you crash the system CPU, so you can only succeed on the Shadowrun by crashing it. Once you've taken over the CPU, you can pop inside any node that you want, with the caveat being that If you want to go to the CPU, you'll then have to work your way back to the CPU. I'm looking for the security files data store. Just gonna start near the CPU. I could probably deceive this one, but hell with it. It's a barrier, so I wouldn't have been able to. That's a financial data store. That's not what I want. So, back to the CPU. I've already suppressed the ice here, so I don't have to go into another combat situation. That ice will remain suppressed so long as I'm in the system. And I'll check this other data store now. This is an access program. I could have deceived this, but my character has incredibly powerful programs, and that's also a no-go. Okay. The next data store I'll check, and my character actually failed to operate the node successfully. That can happen depending on the level of node, which is also dependent on color as well, and your computer skill. Rihanna's computer skill is currently an 8, the maximum is 12. Computer skill also affects program success rates. Okay. We got this. That's a blaster node, or blaster ice, excuse me. It'll target your persona there, your Silver Surfer persona. Alright, there's only one data store left. It targets your Silver Surfer persona. That's your health bar for the Silver Surfer persona. If you run out of health, you're booted out of the system. Black Ice, which there isn't any in this system, but it has a particular dancing effect. Black Ice is insidious because it doesn't target your Silver Surfer persona, it targets your Deckard. And when your Deckard runs out of health, she actually falls unconscious. Black Ice is very dangerous inside the actual tabletop. Here, it's not as dangerous, if only because this game isn't deadly, as it were. Oh hey, Black Ice, great example. Rebound is here, reflecting the attacks of the Black Ice back onto the Black Ice. But Rebound only has so much health, and eventually Rebound will break. That depends on the strength of the attack. Unlike my actual attack, which could miss, Rebound has a perfect hit rate, but the problem is that I have to recreate it every now and then. And I'm actually going to have Rebound just completely finish off this Black Ice. Of course, the Black Ice is doing so little damage that it actually isn't hurting itself that much. So it's actually taking more hits than, say, a higher level Black Ice would. But still don't have to do anything. You'll see that the Silver Surfer portrait down there was actually replaced with Rihanna's, and that's to signify the danger of Black Ice and who it's targeting. Anyway, Shadowrun's accomplished. This run required me to download a file and deliver it to the Mr. Johnson. And now I'll go looking for other data. Remember that I can only hold up to 5 files. Space can be an issue as well. It's not for my cyber deck, but it can be. Particularly at the start of the game. Okay, that's 5 files. So we're good. You can erase files as well. That's basically for the purposes of Shadowruns. I think one particular Shadowrun you can get for the Matrix requires you to erase something. Other than that, it's just fun to do. Some data stores can contain useful tips and clues for your questing purposes in the main quest line. Okay, so, good old Roscoe the Fixer here, he's looking at these files, he gets to the one that's encrypted with some Johnson's personal code, and he's not even going to bother with that. Like, no. That one's useless. That one's also useless. This one's only worth 800 New Yen, and that one's worth 900 New Yen. So we made a total of 1,700 New Yen for our troubles. And the run is worth another 2,590. I'm going to take a taxi here to Renraku Arcology, because taxi rides are free for me, and it's quicker to get to this place. Like so. Run done. Hello, hello. Let's get on the live, where, according to research indicates that I am live right now. Okay, this is a Matrix run red flagged for experts only, as technology has been working on something confidential, which means I am likely going to have to go after a confidential data store. And yes, I know, I'm not proceeding along the main quest line again, but now I'm like, well, I might as well just wait for heavy combat armor. I could buy heavy combat armor for one individual. Oh, I should also probably buy some replacement programs. Forgot to do that. I didn't use any, though. No, I'm missing a sleeves. And that's from, like, 2 runs ago. So we're gonna hop into one of the 2 cyberware stores existing in the game. Not cyberware. Matrix Wear. And I'm gonna buy a sleeves program. Good to go. Now, gonna hop. Nah, random event. Sure. Give me 50 million. That almost pays for the analyze. Sleaze. Okay. Every time you buy a program, you have to rearrange your active bar. Confidential files, that's right. And as technology, we delve. We've been in the system earlier, however, your deck only saves the last system you've been in. All the information you've garnered there, so I'm basically flying from memory. Thankfully, my memory is not rubbish, not even today. Beautiful, beautiful. The CPU is left and then up, I think? He said hesitantly. No kidding, Party Commissary. Yep, there the CPU is. Okay. Let's kick this off the bar. Put in the rebound. I don't remember whether this has a tar pit. It does not. We absolutely smoked that CPU. That's the sound of us smoking it right there. Genius. That was a tar pit. You'll notice that Analyze has been removed from the active bar, and if we look into mass sense, Analyze is gone after repurchasing. However, the only other ice protecting this data store, and each node can have up to 2 ice protecting it, is a barrier, which means you can't deceive it. An insidious feature of a tar pit, in this case the barrier-tar pit combination, I might as well be attacking while I do this. Get out of my face. Is that tar pit can permanently eat your attack program. And if you don't have a means of destroying that node, then you have to leave cyberspace. Because you have been defeated. You can retreat just fine, so long as you're not in a combat situation. Once you're in a combat situation, you're kind of married to that. Unless you, jack out of the system. Anyway, this is what I need in order to complete the Shadowrun. An incredibly easy run that only costs me one little teeny itty-bitty program. Just smoked through it. Of course, I say easy, but it's basically just a combination of the cyber deck that I have, the skills of the character who's using them, and my own personal knowledge of the game, which made it easy. Anyway, yeah, we lost an analyze program for our troubles. We got 5 files. We're good. So we're going to head back over here to the store, and we're going to purchase a new analyze program. Which... 86 Nuyum? Woohoo! What a big deal. Now, I'm actually going to complete this Shadowrun. Head back to Mr. Johnson here in the Icarus Descending bar. This awesome music. Fuchi is curious about how good their security is. I'm probably going to be heading for a security data store. Alright, I can do that. Not a big deal. I'm going to walk over to the fixer here. Good old Roscoe. 2,250, 6,250. That's 7,750. The strike team orders were useless. Still, we're managing to clean up for ourselves. And Matrix runs, especially the red flagged ones, are incredibly profitable. In Karma, I think they are only topped by Corporation Renraku runs. Just to check to confirm, I am going for security files. Yeah, maybe so, Party Commissar. That's an orange no ice sand. Huh. I haven't been in Fuchi so far this playthrough, so I don't remember Fuchi that well. Of course, here in Fuchi, picking through the data stores, you can pick up information, say, about where they're keeping their cyber heart. I'm gonna have to go looking through the data stores to find security. Security is usually a well-protected one, just the very name and value associated with that. Over, say, something like outdated or dead projects. Security usually gets a big tag associated with it. That's not really sensible. Use the actual words. Security usually gets like an orange or red association, depending on the strength of the system that you're in. Okay, this is a straight up black ice. Let me check to confirm whether there's... Nope, nothing's protecting this. Me and black ice. This black ice is not the fastest attacker, thankfully, so I can get out my rebound before it attacks. Okay, we still haven't had an alert active. This Fuchi system is annoying, though, because it has all these slave module and IOP twists and turns. Fuck it. Deception wouldn't have worked anyway on that node. Okay. Alright. This is a trace and burn! Trace and burn works as that burning sphere slowly tracks its way towards the edge of the screen. If it reaches that, not only are you kicked out of the system, it fries basically, I guess, like your motherboard in the cyber deck, and you have to get that repaired. It's inconvenient. Okay, let's assault the CPU now. This is probably a black ice tar pit combo, if only because I always assume that they are. Okay. This is probably a barrier black ice then. As I used my analyze program, it failed, and it wasn't eaten by a tar pit. So barrier black ice then. Not a good sign. That means we're gonna have an even harder time hitting this thing. But Rihanna manages to pull through. And we defeat the Red 7. Now, gotta find security files in here somewhere. We'll check around this area. Probably find the confidential stuff too while we're at it. Okay, this is an access. So deception would have worked on this if I had attempted it. Or at least it had a chance of working on this. However, Rihanna just murders the son of a bitch. We go poking our nose in this, and we find an interesting file, because Fuji is one of the megacorps and they have interesting files in them. I don't remember all the data stores that have interesting files, but Fuji has a few. We'll cancel the alert while we're in the neighborhood. And the security files data store is probably the one that's northeast of this data store. Okay, that's a tar pit. Access tar pit. Now, of course, this ice has nothing left to defend it. It could have been fooled by deception, but I decided that I'd throw an analyze at it just in case. And it ate my analyze, but it didn't eat my attack, so I can easily kill the thing. The problem is that, of course, it's a financial. It's an orange data store. Huh. Well, I know I've seen it plenty of times, and I just forget it, so... Interesting, but we'll manage. Of course, it ends up being that orange one that has a damn tar pit. Whatever. Let's, Let's go back here for a bit. Let's get a few files. Just in case something goes completely foobar and fails. Failed to operate the node successfully. Like that, that's a start. Again, Rihanna's failing. Alright. That'll be good. Maybe the security one's the one in the top right corner, then. I'm trying to use my vaunted memory, and I'm not able to recall shit. Can't even leave this fucking node. So we're gonna try it. Okay. This is incredibly fast access. Incredibly fast. And even without an alert, I am failing so hard. Oh, Rihanna just needed to warm up, everyone. We're good now. The security! We also acquire an interesting file. Another interesting file. And I think we have a total of 5 files. So, we're out of here. Bye. $1,500. Just $1,500 for all that. A pity. We need to pick up a replacement. Analyze or slit, whichever program got eaten. Hopefully the explanations aren't too redundant for folks who are very familiar with the game, like myself. But since someone had expressed concern over being unfamiliar with the game mechanics situation, again, that person is no longer logged into the chat, so... Alright. Now, you might present a pretty good case, and I could just buy more rubbish programs to put inside the cyber deck, and I'd have no great defense for that. I know, Grimith the tutorial. You can't skip me either. I'm an unskippable cinematic tutorial, everyone. Tremble and despair. Alright. We're raking in the karma. No, but seriously, we'll just do this one damn run, then I'm gonna go buy some armor, then we're actually gonna do things. Besides cyberspace. Because I've easily proven how you can win only by having light combat armor, for fuck's sakes. And here I am like, well, since I don't wear heavy combat armor anyway, we might as well just go all in and wear some heavy combat armor. Because, oh my god, it's the bee's knees. I'm looking for outdated files here. We've been in the system, we've probably seen outdated files in this session. Hell if I remember where that data store is. This is what you make maps for and shit. Alright, good. A few people have asked on occasion how I'm controlling this. I'm using my keyboard. WASD for up, down, left, right. Numpad 4, 5, 6 for ABC. Uplink isn't bad. I remember the first time I thought I was so smooth with, I think I hacked a bank and like, yeah, I got all this money. I didn't properly clean up after myself and wham! Got fucked. I also remember being absolutely lost while playing Uplink for the first while I played that. I was like, how do I go about this? Like the storyline and plot that's within the game. How that can just blow right past you. I enjoyed Uplink, it's alright. Alright, there's our outdated files, and you know what, I don't care enough to go to the rest of the system, so I'll take what I can get here. I mean, I suppose I could play a modern hacking simulator, or I could just, you know, actually hack, but then, you know... excuse me, not hack, I'm a troubleshooter. I shoot... Yeah, troubleshooter. Anyway, that was a red flagged run, and that was so ridiculously easy. So much so that I didn't really get enough data, enough valuable data, I'm sure, that, it's not going to be good enough to give me the money that I wanted to buy 2 sets of heavy combat armor. It is not. So that whole thing I said about that being the last one, well... promises were meant to be broken, right? If you weren't concerned about a promise being broken, then what would the value of a promise be, right? Hello. Bye. I need enough money for my court badges, too. I played Shadowrun Returns. Thought it was alright. Didn't think it was anything too special. I haven't played the Germany set one, Dragonfall or Dragonfell. I received a free copy of it from Lax Stoties. I heard that it was better than Shadowrun Returns, but I still haven't gotten around to it because I was so unimpressed. What it just basically seemed like to me, and this is what they were going for, was toolkits, basically. Like, and they made a campaign using that toolkit. But it was so uninteresting for me compared to this game. In Shadowrun Returns, you are so on a motherfucking railroad. Ah. And I didn't think it was a particularly interesting railroad. I much enjoy, the feel of tabletop games over computer role-playing games, unless... or console role-playing games, unless there's something particularly valuable in that game.
Active alert.
Yay! Good work, Analyze. Ben and shopping lines less linear. Ah, yes. Matthew Broderick did that. We know what happened there. Alright, just a tar paper. We have this. No problem. We're at the point where I wouldn't have to sacrifice these programs. I've certainly defeated nodes that are guarded in the back by tar pits or tar paper before. It's just a sort of like a risk management type situation, particularly when a tar pit comes around. Just don't want to throw away such a high-value program and the Nuyen costs associated with that. Much easier to just tank the active alert. At least at this stage of the game. Yeah, I don't have the best deck, and I'm not going to be buying the Fairlight Excalibur. Clearly, I've proven it to be unnecessary. I haven't done Rinraku Matrix runs, but even then, I could easily defeat it. The power of rebound. Anyway, 4,900 plus another 4,800 Nuyen. Very nice. That will definitely be all the shekels I require. Now I can finally get on with, oh, I don't know, doing things pertaining to the main quest line, which will carry dangers unto themselves, because I've spent so much money on this cyberspace hobby. Cool. Talk to you later, Caleb. It's been fun, man. Wait. No, I don't think it's from here. I think it's actually from Julius. I'm trying to buy contacts here. And I'll break this video for YouTube.